Earlier tonight, you probably felt it. Maybe your eyes got heavy. Maybe you yawned. You actually felt sleepy. And then you kept going. One more scroll, one more episode, one more quick conversation. And now you're finally in bed, completely tired, but somehow not sleepy anymore. And that can feel confusing because part of you is thinking, I was tired earlier. I'm not imagining it. So what happened? And here's what most people never realize. You may not have lost your sleep. You may have just missed the cues your body was already giving you. And when that happens, something interesting tends to show up. A lot of people call it a second wind, but it may not be what you think. Most people don't miss sleep because they weren't tired. They miss it because sleep cues usually aren't very dramatic. They're subtle and easy to brush off, easy to talk yourself past. Sometimes it looks like rubbing your eyes, reading the same sentence over and over in your book, or scrolling, but not really taking anything in. So starting a show, and then you suddenly realize you don't even remember what happened in the last 5 minutes. Sometimes it's a yawn, a quieter mind, or heavy eyes. A moment where your body starts slowing down before you do. And a lot of people miss it because they assume sleep is supposed to feel stronger than that, more obvious, more sudden. But a lot of the time, sleep doesn't come knocking. It hints quietly. And if your mind is busy, or you're pushing through out of habit maybe, or you're just waiting to feel more tired, that window can pass before you even realize it was there to begin with. And that's usually when people say, I don't get it. I was tired earlier. But you probably didn't lose your sleep. You may have just missed the first invitation. And this is the part that can actually throw you off, because after missing those first sleep cues, a lot of people assume, okay, I guess I'm just not tired anymore. But that's usually not what's happening at all. A lot of the time, your body is still tired, very tired. But once that first sleepy window passes, your brain doesn't always just stay quiet and wait for the next. Sometimes it shifts gears and it starts to think it's helping. And it becomes a little more alert, a little more aware, and a little more ready to monitor what's happening. And then this is where people start saying things like, why do I suddenly feel awake the second I get into bed? Or, how was I tired an hour ago, but now I feel awake? And a lot of people call that a second wind. But in many cases, It's not that your sleep disappeared. It's that your mind stepped forward right after your body had already started stepping back. And once that happens, a lot of people start doing something without even realizing it. They start watching for sleep. And that's where things can start getting harder. This is where a lot of people accidentally get stuck. Not because they're doing something wrong, and not because their body forgot how to sleep, but because once the mind steps in, a lot of people start doing something very subtle. They start checking. Am I getting sleepy yet? Is it happening? Why am I still awake, even though I was tired before? And on the surface, that seems harmless, even logical. But the moment you start watching for sleep, part of your brain is no longer drifting. It's monitoring instead. And the brain, it can't fully let go, while another part of it is standing watch, on guard. And that's why so many people say, the harder I try to get to sleep, the worse it gets. Because most of the time, it's not sleep that disappeared. It's attention that moved in too early. And once you understand that, you stop fighting the night and you start seeing it differently. So if you've ever said, I'm tired, but the second I get into bed, I feel wide awake, it may not mean your body forgot how to sleep. It may not even mean something is wrong. Sometimes it just means that sleep was already beginning and your mind stepped in just a little too early. And then once you start watching for sleep, measuring it, checking for it, trying to make it happen, you can accidentally pull yourself out of the very thing your body was already doing. And that's why sometimes the problem isn't that sleep never came. Sometimes you just noticed it too soon. And once you understand that, the night starts feeling a little less like a fight and a little more like something you can stop chasing.